I mean, this region is run by Caps. It is just all roads lead to Caps in Europe, if you're in Europe. If you're outside of Europe, I'm not sure if the roads lead to him, but definitely as you enter Europe and it says welcome to Europe, every single road you drive will lead up to Caps. Like, this is unreal.
G2 Esports continues its dominant streak in the LEC, with each split showcasing their unwavering presence at the top of the leaderboard. Despite new faces and teams emerging, G2's supremacy remains unchallenged, further widening the gap between them and the rest of Europe. While credit is due to the entire G2 organization, it's essential to recognize that the driving force behind their success isn't just the team itself, but rather Caps. See, G2 is not the dynasty, Caps is. The Chicago Bulls, in the 90s, they were one of the most discussed and covered professional sports teams in the world. They were as dominant as ever, winning championship after championship. In an era with many incredible players and teams, this one team was always the team to beat. And why? Because only the Bulls had Michael Jordan. Fast forward to the modern day LEC and the same can be said about Caps. His unparalleled talent and consistency have earned him numerous accolades, including now 12 LEC titles, 3 LEC MVP awards, and 5 LEC Finals MVP titles. His exceptional gameplay and strategic prowess make him a cornerstone of G2's success. But the real beauty of it all is that he's improving, and still in 2024 demonstrating that no player in the LEC has yet to surpass him. Let's go back in time to 2016 and 2017. G2 Esports had been dominating the LEC, EULCS at the time, winning 4 splits in a row behind the brilliance of Trick, Sven, Mithy, Expect, and most importantly, Perkz. At the time, Perkz had become the dominant mid laner in the EULCS, leaving former powerhouse Fnatic fighting for second place. So, in 2017, Fnatic started on a new project, Caps. And in his first matchup versus Perkz, the man they called Baby Faker proved he was a little different than everyone else.
Caps didn't get to push out and get that super
Caps of the week, gets the stun, Caps flashes forward,
oh,
turns it onto Perkz, first blood to Baby Faker!
Oh my god, that is why I like this guy so much!
In his debut season, Caps dazzled audiences with a roller coaster of performances, earning him the notorious nicknames of Craps or Claps. He recorded 18 solo kills during the spring split regular season, and by summer was competing with Perkz for the best mid laner in the entire league. Then came 2018, the year Caps took his rightful place on the top of the EULCS. And with their man in the mid lane, Fnatic skyrocketed to the top of the table, usurping the rebuilding G2 Esports. Now Reckless may have claimed the MVP, but make no mistake, Caps was the heartbeat of the team. Remember that even a player as great as Reckless couldn't sniff a title in G2's prime, but after 1 year with Caps, the team was the 2-time champion of Europe. Then came the international stage.
Berlin, Germany, an opening day of the 2018 MSI Group Stage.
Well, let's see what he can do. Follows up with a Q, manages to get the last breath as well. A shield comes up. Oh, that was insane from Caps.
MSI 2018 wasn't a walk in the park, but Caps held his own against the best. He went on to Worlds that year with higher expectations, and Fnatic and Caps took Europe to a place on the international stage they hadn't been in a very, very long time.
As Baoland drops as well. 5v4. Only the Nexus has defense itself as Duke pops a stopwatch, but he's sure to go down. The knockup and a double kill for Caps. The kickback for Broxa. Make it 3 and a 5 versus 1. Jackie Love versus the world, and he simply cannot do it. And Fnatic will foul Invictus. They will take the #1 seed into the quarterfinal.
The incredible second day here for Fnatic. They run the gauntlet.
From crushing group stages to dominating the North American rivals Cloud9, they paved their way to the finals, igniting European pride like never before. Out of nowhere, a European team had a legitimate claim to win the title. Although Caps and Fnatic were eventually defeated in the finals, he helped bring the region newfound hope on the international stage they hadn't had since Fnatic in 2015.
So I didn't believe the rumors were true. I genuinely couldn't get my head around Perkz moving to bot lane and Caps moving to mid. I saw a couple more articles like reinforcing it, but I was still like, surely this isn't true until I see them like in the contract database. I'm not gonna believe it. I think this is just a giant troll. I think there's no way that Caps would join G2, it just doesn't make sense. So I was genuinely not
Caps
convinced.
shocked the world again by joining G2, teaming up with Perkz in a move that raised eyebrows. Why would Caps leave a team that just made the World Championship finals? And who would play mid lane between Caps and Perkz? Well, G2 and Perkz helped make that decision. Perkz deferred to Caps. As much as Perkz had achieved in Europe as a leader and player, even he recognized he was not quite on Caps' level. With Perkz graciously stepping aside, Caps unleashed his unparalleled talent, dominating the league. He took on the league MVP and G2 regained their spot at the top of Europe. Then came MSI, time to prove if his decision to move over to G2 from Fnatic was the right one. G2 showed up in a big way. They faced off against T1 in the semifinals of the tournament, normally a death knell for most teams. But G2 flipped the script on the Koreans and showed that they were a super team for a reason. Baby Faker was even beyond the real Faker in this series. Caps outperformed the GOAT.
Yankos as well as Caps get themselves a reply back. Now Caps turns his attention to Khan. Faker's running low. He needs to get some regen. Whoa! He is popped by Caps. Caps is throwing out every single ability and turning his attention to Khan. It's a quadra kill for Caps.
They handed SKT their first international best-of-5 loss to a Western team ever. They went on to face a surprising face Team Liquid in the finals, and they proceeded to lay down the greatest smackdown in international finals history. For the first time since Season 2, Europe was the champions on the international stage, and Caps was crowned MVP. He transcended borders, earning global recognition as one of the best players in the entire world. Summer saw Caps ascend to new heights. He led mid laners with 20 solo kills, the next closest was Humanoid at 13. The freedom G2 as an organization presented allowed Caps to flourish into his true prime self. After finishing second place in the group stage, the team and Caps went on a historic run. First, he beat Showmaker in the quarterfinals.
Play going to come through on top side. Easy knockup with the Gragas ult available. Caps is trying to dash through, getting his montage moment. We'll wait for the ult, and that's it.
Then in the semifinals, he took down Faker again.
On the way in, Faker should certainly go down here,
fashion.
but he's incredibly fast. The flash out, not enough. Caps sees it coming, uses the ult, and takes him out. The back end of that ultimate. Faker now steps forward. Faker now gets taken out. Faker, Faker, they can't do it. This is it. The greatest team in the history of League of Legends, taken down by the greatest team Europe has ever produced. FPX, get ready. G2 is heading to Paris.
Although the Cinderella story came to an end in the finals, G2 went on to become the greatest Western team ever, and Caps became only the second non-Korean player after Uzi to make back-to-back World Finals. And unlike Uzi, Caps did it under two completely different banners, two different rosters, and only one constant: the man in the mid lane. If that wasn't enough to show his superiority, he swapped to bot lane for the 2020 split, letting Perkz take his place.
Bottom. One day stay low. Look up, look up.
Low. I made him low.
Someone got outplayed.
You saw that? Good right.
Gets
Damage.
outplayed.
R.
Sick.
You want skill?
Yeah, please.
I'm expecting.
Wait, take it.
Please.
But although the team did win the split, Perkz and the team were not nearly as dominant. They missed the playmaking that Caps brought. He captured his third LEC MVP in summer after returning to mid lane, cementing himself definitively as the best mid laner the LEC had ever seen, a region known for producing world-class mid laners. The team wasn't the favorite coming into Worlds like previously, but Caps still showed out in a big way, styling on yet another incredible Korean mid laner in BDD.
Before you can even get out of the fight, Ignite ticking on Caps, uses the stopwatch to dodge the spear. He's going to come back up and with the ammo, oh my god! Oh, that is disgusting! That is the most illegal ammo I have ever seen. Clint dives in, Rascal dives in, but they've already done, and Caps is still alive, and he's almost back up to full HP. Ruler, the last man standing, and what a fated end it is for Genji as he goes down. Another triple for Caps.
He wasn't capable of getting G2 over the juggernauts that were Damwon, but it was an incredible showing for the best Western team nonetheless. And then G2 made the greatest decision their organization had ever made since signing Caps initially, and that was choosing him over Perkz. As important as loyalty is, they knew that Caps was the most invaluable part of their super team roster. After a season plagued with internal issues, G2 decided to rebuild the roster altogether, putting all their eggs in the Caps basket. And he has been delivering ever since. Since the end of the 2021 season, G2 has gone through various players, but in that time, Caps has won Spring 2022, Winter 2023, Summer 2023, Season Finals of 2023, Winter 2024, and now Spring 2024. He holds the most Finals MVPs and the most trophies, surpassing Perkz, and he's still improving. Look at this past series versus Fnatic. Replace Caps with any other mid laner in the league and G2 loses. In fact, you could say that about a lot of their series and championships recently. Right now, Caps is in the best form he's been in since 2019. Meanwhile, look at all the players that have played with Caps. Whippo, Broxa, Flakkid, Broken Blade, Yike, and so on and so on. How many trophies would these guys have without Caps? Broken Blade was good individually, but middle of the table in the LEC. Mickey X had his worst year as a team ever after leaving Caps. And Dylan Falco now has infinitely more opportunities in the draft because of Caps' champion pool and willingness to be creative and experiment. And how many titles would others have if Caps wasn't there? Would Larson have more titles?
Gets the kill, first blood over to Caps, and Malrang can't really respond. Frustration on the face of Mars.
Or Humanoid? Or Hylissang? Would Reckless have even left the LEC? How about Fnatic? Because of Caps' decision to stay with G2 and rebuild there, Fnatic has fallen so far behind the race for the greatest LEC org that is not even a discussion anymore. Once Caps hit his stride, there hasn't been anyone to challenge him. And if you asked every single GM in the LEC who would they draft first among all the players in the league, they would all say Caps unequivocally. So it's not that G2 is dominant, it's that wherever Caps goes, that team dominates because only that team has him. So when you think of G2, don't just see a dynastic team, see the legacy of Caps. Like Michael Jordan with the Bulls, he's the driving force behind their success, rewriting the rules of the game. Only they have Caps, and he's a one-man dynasty.